This is the third military movie we watched tonight. It's called The Patriot. It's my pick, and thought it was pretty good. JD, no, Yeti, do you want to tell us the story?
Thank you, Eddie.
Drinking some Sam Adams Oktoberfest. About to buy another case. Still pretty good beer. Get it while you can. Patriot takes place during the Revolution. The War for Independence, right? Revolutionary War. 20 names for the same thing. And for our War for Independence, lightly touches on everybody involved in this state. I think it's like Virginia, and Mel Gibson's character tries to stay out of it. He participated in the French Indian Wars and all that stuff, but when he was younger, stayed out of it afterward. Had a family, was a farmer, wasn't directly affected. They ended up killing his children, one of them, and that turned the tide for him personally, so he joined the war. And you follow him throughout as he trains up the militiamen in his area. Everyone takes up arms against the British. We know the story. And then they push the Redcoats back after pushing their shit in. So, didn't really get into details with the Boston Tea Party. Didn't really focus on George Washington and his stuff. Just kind of mentioned, where he's at and what he's doing. The Continental Army, what they're at, what they're doing. The story is mainly on this farmer and his children and their lives. That's more or less the focal point of the story. But it takes place during the Revolution. So, oh yeah, there's a French guy in it. Tell us about the special effects and stuff. What do you think about the special effects?
Oh man, it was what nice. Just how that cannons and all that shit when they're shooting them all with these bounces. Just take this fucking people's legs off and
cannonballs that don't explode.
Oh yeah, that's nice. It was,
took that one dude's head off on that other part.
Yeah,
I think the practical effects were pretty good. The blood was not overdone. It was
perfect. Because some people just take it overboard sometimes.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
It was respectful enough that you you knew what was happening, but they didn't focus on just the blood and gore. I thought it was pretty good. Hey JD, what do you think about the soundtrack? There was a lot of brass and orchestra in here.
I do like it. I do like the. It really set the mood for the timepiece. It was very brass. It was very string and flute. Very flute heavy. Very wind. I guess that would be the wind section, but yeah, it was. I love that.
What do you guys think about the small jokes in between these serious moments? Oh, don't worry. I sew better than my mother does. He's like, I fucking hope so.
Yeah. That's the first time I ever seen something that happen like that.
For real?
That's the first time I heard about something like that. Sleep in the same bed as somebody that you like. Back in the days, they put you in the sack.
But you're not married.
So you're hopping in the sack with somebody. It's what I assume that this goes back to. We never actually looked it up, but I assume.
I mean, makes sense.
Somebody out there, go look it up and put it in the comments.
Google's the thing.
No. I want our viewers to do the work.
Yeah.
I watched the movie for you. You looked this up for me.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, but that's crazy how they do that to you. They put you in the sack and sew it all the way up. Oh, but what I was thinking about when they were doing that, there's a venture they on the movie. What happens if you need to use the restroom?
Better go before you fucking get sewed up.
Go to the bathroom before you go to bed.
Yeah,
like an adult.
Dude, you get up at least 3 or 4 times a night.
I got issues.
I mean,
well, y'all know that, but still, there's a lot of people still, they gotta go up to the night.
Yeah, but if I wasn't in my own house, I'd hold it.
You still got pee.
No, if I'm in somebody else's house, I'll hold it.
No. You don't fucking take piss somewhere.
No.
Well, she ends up feeding him some coffee, right? She's like, hey, drink this. And he's like, hell yeah. He takes a big old gulp of it and he's like, thanks. And smiles and his teeth are black. kind of a reference back to when they were 12 and he did that to her. And I thought that was pretty cool. The little touch of like, hey, my son's kind of going through the courtship, ends up getting married, sadly loses his wife, like fucking in the movie wise, it happens almost immediately. Just fucking sucks.
Not even an 8 day.
It sucks, but in the reality of the war, it was over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
You remember any lines that hit you pretty hard during the movie?
I'm gonna mess up the line itself, but it is when they go to this one town to gather men to go and fight in the war for the militia, and the men are all getting on their horses, saying goodbye to their families, and they're leaving, and then through the crowd comes the Reverend, and he's like, Reverend, and he's all like, the Reverend turns and has this cold line where he takes off his hat and he puts on another hat, and he's basically like, sometimes you must lead the herd and the sheep, and other times you must bear arms and fight the wolves. And I was like, the whole thing, like I was like, damn, coming from a reverend, you're like, all right, father, like shit.
What about you, man? Any line that stuck out to you?
I guess the part when the dad had the kids out there, but they go fight against them, he said, well, remember what I taught you.
The fucking motto for a generation that saw this movie after that: aim small, miss small.
I was taught that.
Mm-hmm. One of the harder lines there's several of them, but I think I'll pick two. Top 2 lines for me is whenever his son Heath Ledger is like, hey man, I want to go fight in the war. This guy's older or younger than I am. I want to get in. I believe in the cause, freedom, and all that. And I'm like,
damn.
That was pretty hard because he's basically saying this is inevitable. It's gonna happen. There's no running from it. May as well get in front of it, right?
Yeah, pretty much make it sound like his dad was a wimp too.
Made him sound like a coward. But he doesn't know the history of what his the history of what his dad did beforehand. Yeah. So, but there is one moment, the turning point, when Mel Gibson's one of his sons gets killed by the Green Dragoon. The commander shoots him, and he's like, at this point, he runs in his house. It's already on fire, by the way. Grabs his guns, and he's like, cool. They're gonna hang one of my sons as a spy, which war crime, right? Illegal because it's not true. And then we're going to watch my other son die in my front yard as they set my house on fire, take all of my stock, my animals, my food, and everything. They're gonna take it all and leave us basically with nothing. No, we're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna go get all my guns and we're gonna just kill pretty much fucking everybody, and we're gonna get my son out of there. Which is what he does. He tells his other boys, hey, aim for these guys. You want to be men about it? Time to be men about it.
Yeah.
I try to avoid the war the whole time. Try to avoid getting involved. We're in it now, so this is what we're gonna have to do. I really like the fact that his younger sons, they kind of imitated their older brothers. They're like, yeah, we want to be adults about it. But as they were going through it, it hit them. They were like in tears, like, fuck, my dad's he's not even like a normal person. JD brought that up during the movie. He's like, imagine what it's like to see your dad as like a Superman, right? You idolize your dad as a little boy, and then to see him go from fucking being in tears because your brother died to your dad hacking a motherfucker up into like 20 pieces with a tomahawk, like fucking that fast.
Yeah.
That would probably fuck with your whole perception of the world. Like, whatever innocence you had is probably gone. I liked it.
I like the fact that we were able to pick movies about wars in different eras. Like, we went through World War II, Vietnam, we had the Revolutionary War, and I think what's interesting not only about that, but all of these wars not only had like very hard battles in them, but the war itself changed how we view wars moving forward. These wars were so like key and crucial to how we went from the Revolutionary War, where we're just standing in line, we're taking turns shooting at each other, being all civil, to go into the World War II where we're in trenches. We thought that was bad, and then we start introducing the new guns, mechanized warfare, chemical warfare, and then that gets to a whole new level once we go into Vietnam, and that changes everything that we thought about war.
Guerrilla warfare like a motherfucker.
But I think the Revolutionary War is definitely something that, like, I was pointing out the whole time we were watching it, where I was like, well, you see how they're lined up like here and there, and when you start getting the militias who weren't trained with the military, these are just farmers, and they weren't like, oh, I'm not going to stand here and let these guys shoot at me. I'm just going to wait for their supply line to come through, and we're going to jump their supply line, or we're not going to wait till we see the white of their eyes. If I see them, I'm shooting them. And they weren't originally they weren't holding like any prisoners of war. They were just offing people. They had like rules of war, which they talked about, like kind of like, oh, you know, like I come here with a parlay, you can't touch me if I say parlay. And we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk. I want my dogs and my clothing back. In return, I'm gonna give you some of your like prisoners, right? And that's just not how it works. It works in war. At least now. But back in the day, like, they did that for hundreds of years, where they're like, all right, you're going to shoot, I'm going to shoot. You don't hit my generals, we don't hit your generals.
Fuck that. I'm going to chill in the woods that I grew up in and that I know, or whatever the case is. I was here.
Spring up from the cornfield.
I'm going to show up and I'm going to shoot a couple fuckers and I'm out. Why am I going to stick around? Is that dishonorable? Probably. Go ask the Vietnamese how that worked out. I would say ask the guys that were here how that worked out, but you can't, because we're all suffering from freedom. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It worked. It works. So we kind of covered some of the story. We're not really spoiling. Oh, we're spoiling most of it. Fuck, we're spoiling all of it.
You know, we have this warning.
Yeah. I'm totally not going to put a warning there.
No, we gotta put warning in.
Totally not doing that. It's not the most historically accurate account. They take a lot of liberties when they made the movie. We understand that. Still, it's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. I think it's worth watching. I think there's enough information in there that you can kind of gather what the times were then, and what warfare was like, and how crafty certain Americans were, and the impact of the farmers just saying, fuck this, we're not doing it no more. And we're suffering under the heavy hand of the British. Fuck you guys. And then from then on, we just became American. We're just like, fuck it. I mean, it is what it is. We're just not gonna do it. Fuck it. I mean, in the world today, when most people are doing something and then you hear someone just say, fuck that, I'm not doing that. Generally, the world thinks he's a selfish prick or he's American. One or the other. There's not really like a whole lot of in between. Yep. Either the guy's an asshole or he's American. We're just like, fuck you, we're not going to do it. Then they wonder why the U.S. government has so many issues they do with our citizenry.
What?
Out of 5.
1 to 5. What do you rate the movie?
Yeah. 3.5.
3.5? What do you rate it, GD?
I give it a solid 3. I think this is a great movie. I don't think I would put this on in the background for like noise and stuff, but I definitely think this is a good movie.
I'm gonna say with Yeti, 3.5. Hell yeah, we'll leave it at that. Fuck yeah.
It's so good, it's still referenced today.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. Anything you want to add?